An equation is simply a mathematical expression that states that two things are equal. Equations must be balanced so that both sides represent the same value and have an equal sign that separates the left side of the equation from the right. The equal sign is simply a way of saying this on the left equals that on the right. Equations can have many different terms on both sides of the equation and can be used as a way to relate different expressions or as a way to solve for unknown. Equations also allow us to illustrate relationships. For example, the use of the distance equation is basic to relating a distance traveled to the speed or rate at which an object is traveling to the time it takes to travel that distance. If the rate and time are known, we can use the relationship between them and the distance traveled, or the distance equation, to determine the value of the distance. For instance, if a car is traveling at 60 miles per hour for 2 hours, we can substitute these values into the equation and solve for the distance. 60 times 2 equals 120, so the total distance traveled is 120 miles. The most common form of the equation is distance equals rate times time, or d equals r times t. It's possible to rearrange equations so that the unknown of importance is isolated on one side of the equation and the remaining variables and terms are on the other. To isolate the variable of interest, any operation such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division can be performed on the variable as long as the same operation is accomplished to the other side. For instance, the distance equation is typically expressed as d equals r times t. But if we wish to write the equation in a form that solves for the time, t, we must first manipulate the equation to isolate the time variable. To isolate time, first divide by r. Since the right side of the equation was divided by r, the left side of the equation must also be divided by r. The r's on the right side cancel out since anything divided by itself is equal to 1. Now the equation states that t equals d divided by r. In a similar way, the original equation can be rearranged so that the rate, r, is equal to d divided by t. A simple way to remember these formulas is the formula circle. Treat the horizontal divider as a fraction bar and the vertical divider as a multiplication symbol. Simply place your thumb on the unknown value you wish to determine. The two remaining variables will show you the correct formula. Let's work another example.